Namaskar. Welcome everybody to our forum channel with Indians for Collective Action. My name is Namita Monder and I am one of the volunteers and marketing chair for Indians for Collective Action. It is a pleasure to host this second forum with a wonderful organization that is supported by ICA. It's called Youth of Kodaganallur and Xavier, which stands for YOKE. And they do a lot of activities for sustaining different interests of youth at the village. And we are going to hear from two of the founding members of YOKE, Chitra and Vasu, who have joined us. So welcome Chitra, welcome Vasu.
Hi everybody.
And Chitra has a background of being in marketing, with various things in India and abroad at Dubai. She was sharing that Vasu has a background of being a chemical engineer and continues consulting, but they have dedicated their life to helping youth and people who are young at heart. This what they were sharing with us earlier at this small village in Tamil Nadu. And I also have the pleasure of having Padma today. Padma is an executive committee member with ICA. She does a lot of our youth initiative programs, and she will share with us how those programs are helping the youth here in the Bay Area. So I know that some of you are interested in learning a little bit more about those youth initiatives. And the way we are going to do this forum is from 8 till 8:30 or so, we will have an opportunity to share with you about what is happening with YOKE and the collaboration of ICA and YOKE together. And then at 8:30, we will take a break to take questions from the audience. So kindly hold your questions till the end, and then you have the opportunity to interact with our panelists. So with that, let us begin our conversation. Chitra has the ability to present today. So Chitra, I would like to begin to tell our audience more about what is the vision and mission of YOKE, and also what is your role in this endeavor?
Yeah, my pleasure. It's such a wonderful thing to be present here and to be presenting to the ICA audience, because ICA and YOKE have been working together for the last 3 years very effectively. So let me move to my presentation. I'll share screen with you. Yeah.
We can see your screen. Yeah.
So we begin with the the beginning of this century. When we were just holidaying here, we were here for a couple of days or 3. When Vasu and I visited, we found that the river, which is the life of this entire belt, the Tamrapanni River, was kind of choking with water hyacinth, which is a weed. And we went around checking on how this can be removed. And we took up the initiative of having at least a part cleared, so that that could be a trigger for the rest of the villages on the banks to do so. So we wanted to do something very seriously about this. So that is why we kind of thought about it, and began the YOKE initiative. So we founded it and registered it in the year 2005. But we were living in Delhi at that time. But we used to meet every year. We used to come down. We used to meet up with our co-founders in Chennai or in Kodaganallur itself. So we worked on the vision. We worked on a vision and a mission statement. So we said that our vision should be that Kodaganallur is a model village panchayat. Panchayat is a small unit, which is the administrative unit here, self-sufficient in needs, that is nurtured by an educated, empowered, and employed, vibrant community where everyone cares and contributes. So the vision actually ensures that there is inclusion, there is definite education and empowerment, and there is something for everybody to do. So, and it should be self-sustaining too. So this is what we wanted to do as a, as a long-term vision. And the mission, how we went about it, is to be committed to working in the areas of informal, relevant, and practical education, facilitating small-scale entrepreneurship and employment opportunities, but also promoting health and hygiene and the conservation of all natural resources and the environment. So, put very simply, the people in Kodaganallur, we want them to be educated, employed, healthy. All three of this will ensure that they are happy. That's what we began with. So what do we do in education? We start from the very beginning. Like we start even with the primary schools. We do certain things with the primary children, certain things with the middle school, and then once they come to a competitive exam category, then we help them there. And then once they get into college, we help them there. So education is a continuous process across age groups. So we have annual summer camps, which we did right in the beginning when we did the water hyacinth clearance. We wanted everybody to kind of sustain because they knew what was wrong with the water hyacinth weed in the river and what it could do to it. So we said, let's have a camp where we will have students coming and we will tell them all about it. And this camp became like, a regular camp where you had craft, you had art, you had personality development, leadership, because the children were all for it. They were asking for more and more. And every year it grew in size and it grew in the number of programs we were offering. So that's how the summer camp was one thing. And now we have a 30-day camp. All through May, we have a 30-day camp. And English and math classes we introduced in the middle school because those were the problem areas. Some children dropped out of school in class 9 just before their school exams, final exams, because these two were the challenges. English was a problem, math was a problem. So we started English classes with the initiative of the district the collectorate. So we said they gave us 8 schools in the district to work with. And we started doing English classes more like a language than as a subject. They had taught English like a subject, but we wanted to teach it like a language. So, more of spoken and conversational English. So this we took up as one of the programs, which I could mention here because it reaches quite a few geographical towns, and also it is one of our successful programs. And we also do coaching classes for competitive entrance exams, like the NEET. NEET, you might have heard if you're familiar with what happens here. We have a common entrance test for all medical schools. And we are very happy to say that children from our government school, the local government school, about 4 of them have already gone into medical school. So that is one thing which has, kind of effectively worked for us through these coaching classes which we hold. And we have always made it that, most all of our programs will be free. It will not be charged at all, because I think the children here just lack the opportunity. But once we give them that, there is no end to where they can go. Okay, there's no really any limit to where they can go. Okay, the other part that we are really working on is employment. See, we are basically a very agrarian economy, because we have the river feeding all the paddy fields. So water is not an issue, but it's not going to last forever and ever. So there has to be more educated agricultural practices, and with a lot more of inputs, and they should be doing a much better job of what they're doing with whatever knowledge is available elsewhere. So we try to do that, and we also make sure that educated boys and girls get other opportunities, like jobs in the government. It's something which everybody wants to do. They want a job with the government. And I think we help them with these coaching classes for the Public Service Commission. So the State Public Service Commission is what we are concentrating on. And this year we were supported in this initiative by donations which came through ICA. And we constantly do soft skills training and personality development. So there are people who are from the governors, from the Toastmasters International, who help them, face audiences, express themselves better. And so it really works on, giving them confidence and handling interviews and, interpersonal skills and whatever that can bring. And English speaking skills, we have separate programs sometimes for the those who are seeking jobs. So that is also something which helps them all. To give an idea of how many people we reach and the kind of number of villages we cover, I think we skipped one, the health one. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, there is another initiative which I think is got missing here, which is the something to do with the health part. We constantly organize health camps, and we work with the environment. We make sure that the river remains clean, all the water bodies remain clean, and we also have yoga classes being organized in the schools, and we have an annual marathon which most people who run it are uninitiated to running the marathon. They run barefoot but they win, okay, and they have very good timings too. So the entire marathon actually has been funded through ICA, because the patrons or the sponsors of this event are in the US. They find it very convenient to use ICA to send their donations to us. And this is a free marathon. We don't charge at all. And at least about 12 to 1300 people run in a year, which is a huge deal. Okay. And we have a half marathon, not a full one though.
Yeah, no, that's great. I see the pictures on your website, so there they are.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they're there. Yeah. So the annual marathon, we reach about 200 plus villages, and numbers we cover about 1,000 plus every year, which is like we must have covered until now, because we began in 2014. So we must have covered at least about 10,000 people by now. We have some of them calling back and saying, you told us that you gave us the confidence that we could run. And I've now joined the army. I've now joined the CRPF, and, all these paramilitary makes us feel very good, that we have somewhere helped them get to where they wanted to. The summer camps, we have children coming from about 15 to 20 villages around the place, and we have easily reached about 1,000 plus children until now. And the English classes reach more than 500 plus, and we went about 8 villages in the district, and this is across the district, not in the immediate radius. Yeah, and the coaching for the entrance exam, we have children coming from about 6 villages around, and we have reached about 30 students in these coaching classes until now. 5 of them have got into medical school, which is, I think, very, very something which gives us a lot of pride, because, this is something which is making their careers, and the families are getting out of, they're stuck in one place. Now they have everything to look forward to. And the employment coaching, competitive exams, we have about children, the young adults coming from about 15 or 16 villages around, and 6 of them have already, 7 have already successfully got employment. Yeah, we have reached about 60 to date. Yeah, yeah. And clean and green environment, we have about 6 villages we have covered in our hamlet, and the hamlets that are around. And we have planted about 200 saplings in our state highway, and now we can see about 50 of them thriving, which I'm told is very good, for very good hit rate. Yeah. At YOKE, we have made sure that we are accessible. We have an accessible physical environment. So when we made our premises, we made sure that it is completely accessible, with an accessible toilet also, and a ramp to get there, so it's wheelchair accessible. And in all our projects, we make sure that it is inclusive. We have, even in summer camps, we have the orthopedically disabled who participate. And we also do inclusion programs for the primary school teachers. A group of very professional special educators come and give training. So the school, the primary school, the government school teachers are empowered to mainstream the children with disabilities in their classroom. And there is a large band of volunteers we have who are committed to the cause of YOKE. This we actively encourage this. We give the volunteers some pep up programs like excursions to cities. Like we took them on a trip to Bangalore this time, and so these are little incentives they get. But we know that most of them will be committed to the cause and they will take it forward when we are not around, and this initiative will sustain.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. ICA and YOKE, this is probably my last slide. Yeah. We've been associated since 2019. ICA facilitates funds for us for the annual marathon and the summer camps, and from all YOKE patrons who live in the US. And recently, ICA also contributed to one of our initiatives. We wanted a playground in one of the government schools. And this would actually be a facility used by at least about 200 to 300 youth who want to train for army and jobs in the army, the military, and in the paramilitary forces and the police forces, the uniformed services as they are called here. So because they can use the tracks for their running practice, and we have a long jump pit, we have all the facilities for them to keep themselves fit. So this initiative was supported by funds, donated by some of our patrons, and ICA was also one of the contributors who made it very easy for us to get that going. So thank you, ICA, for being there for us. We really, really appreciate this association. We look forward to it, in a more continuous way. And to tell you the good news, we just went for renewal of our FCRA license, because that makes sure that we can receive foreign contributions, and we have got the approval now. Just about a week ago, we got the approval. So we are there with this approval for the next 5 years till 19.
Congratulations.
20.
Congratulations on that, Chitra.
Yeah.
And Vasu.
Yeah.
It is such a good, thank you for sharing all that you are doing with the village over there, and your initiatives, and how you're helping the youth over there. I would like to now ask Padma, who has been taking a lot of our youth and helping them understand through her initiative programs, through her summer camps, they go out. And how does that collaboration, Padma, you think helps our youth when they have, for example, with YOKE, if they collaborate? What do you think? So yeah, you can stop sharing the screen.
Yes, you did already.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
So thank you, Namita. Once again, hello to you, Chitra and Vasu, and to everyone else who is participating with us today. So I think the way, I can go back to ICA's mission and stated goals, but the youth, from here have a lot they can learn, experience, and share and participate in all these activities that YOKE is doing, whether it be in the area of education or social work, sustainability, or health practices. It's so important for them to learn all this at a young age, so they can practice it, grow it, and do more as they grow up, because they are our future. Our youth is our future. So when they go out and they see these things, it's one thing to take a book and read and say, oh yeah, these things can be done. But when they actually go and see those 200 saplings that have been planted and 50 of them thriving, and they maybe starts their mind working, why aren't the other 150 doing something? What can we do to help them thrive? so that, you know, we have these trees for us for the next 50 years. I think that is the goal for our children here. Not that they don't, I mean, the only people who want to participate are those that have compassion and be thinking about all these things. But still, when it comes to actually hands-on, being able to participate in something, see, talk to people, it makes a huge impact on their life for a lifetime. You know, and what they see, the resources, the experiences that the youth over there go through, it brings some amount of reflection on their part to see what is happening, and what do I have, what do they have, and is there a gap, and how can we bridge this? And the hope is also, Namita, to make these long-term relationships. You know, Chitra shared about tutoring, coaching. This can be done from anywhere, right? So our youth can be here, but they can definitely coach. They can share projects on science or space or whatever it may be. And, you know, ICA's goals, as stated in 1968, 58 years, I mean, 50 something years ago, was to work and assist people and groups with similar objectives with regard to education, agriculture. You mentioned agriculture. I was thinking, you know, it's not such a big part, but agriculture still plays a big part where you are, right? And even here, in terms of turning around what we are growing today into something that's sustainable and not, you know, be conscious of the environment. So ICA's objectives was to work with people who work with education, thinking of inclusiveness, equality, good health for all, social sustenance, everything that ICA addressed in 1968 and made their goals is the goal of UN and is your goal to YOKE. So I think this is a beautiful fit and a beautiful match. So that's how I think our youth, not only our youth, even our adults can contribute. They can go there, participate in activities and learn, right? We can all do hands-on stuff and learn. So.
Wonderful.
Did we lose her?
Yeah, no. I think, thank you so much again, Padma, that said so well that, you know, youth are today, they're trying to find themselves, right? So nothing like finding yourself more by working with others or providing more service to the others, right? Something on those lines is said by Gandhi. So the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And I think that is what Padma is trying to tell all of us today. And for whether you're young at heart or you're really a youth, this is where you can experience and really learn about service. So Chitra, I will go back to you, and we want to know, like, you shared a lot about different projects that ICA has helped, like the marathon and everything else that you shared with us today. But when this interaction and collaboration happens, there is a lot of learning and collaboration that we talked about, and how, you know, the exchange happens. Could you also tell us a little bit about, in your experience, I think you shared with me earlier about how as young as 5-year-olds are part of this, learning how to be part of your camp and then learn from hands-on learning experience that they get. But what are some challenges that they face when they are in India, or how can, if there are parents here listening or youth listening, how can they be better prepared in terms of some of the barriers that we see?
Okay. Yeah, I think everybody who comes here to volunteer is quite surprised by the instantaneous and very very forthcoming welcome that they get. I think there is a lot of, even if language is a barrier, language is a definite barrier. Even the way we talk, sometimes the children don't understand, but we have come around that, you know, over the years. But when children come from, you know, other places, other countries, there is a definite problem with the language. But I find that the village children, in their eagerness to know more about whoever's come, they forget all those barriers. I find it really astonishing how they communicate. But they communicate and they come back and tell us stories as to how so and so said this and I said this and all that. And I'm zapped. I don't know how they do that, but obviously there's a lot of nonverbal communication that goes on, and there's much more heart-to-heart talk in whatever language they know. So I find I was sharing with you earlier. This is what was happening. Like, many of the people who came here, although very young, they were absolutely at home in our village, and most of them want to come back again and again. Because they've made friends, and this friendship has lasted. I don't know if Kailash has joined. Kailash, are you there? No, I don't think so. Anyway, Kailash had come sometime in 2020, I think. Yeah, he came here and he has made friends, and the friendship is lasting to date. They call on the phone and talk to each other. I don't know what they talk. Kailash speaks Tamil, which I don't understand. That's my language. So that much Tamil he speaks. But it is wonderful that he has he's got that relationship going, and some of the boys here are still in touch with him, and they tell me that Kailash is not contactable. Why don't you ask him to call us? Kind of thing sometimes. I think Kailash is in college now, so that's how it is. So it is, you may have inhibitions, or you may have some apprehension. What if I go there and it is a village, it's remote, maybe there aren't any facilities. Well, when we moved from Delhi, we had no hassles at all, because it was very smooth to settle down here. This village fortunately has everything going for it. So it's not like we have good roads, we have good accessibility to everything. So you don't have to think it is one remote place where we won't get a good place to sleep in. No, we are very, very, very comfortable. As I think Prasanna is there. Prasanna might vouch for this. He just joined us in the last marathon. That is his first visit here. Yeah.
If I can add to what Chitra is saying, I think it's not just the kids from there coming forth and being welcoming. Our kids go there and they learn something. Kailash shared that. He said, it was so amazing to see how open they are. They have no reservations. It's something to learn from them. And how quickly they want to share their ideas and their thoughts. So he was sharing that it's such a nice two-way street. It's not a one-way street of, we are coming here to teach you something. There's a lot that these kids bring back from there to last a lifetime, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure about that. In fact, Kailash has given a testimonial, which is up on your website too. So I think it's a very, very good read. You must go through that, because he's just shared what he went through very beautifully. So you must take a look at that if you have the time. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing about this. How the challenges are not so big that they cannot be overcome, right? So it's a matter of taking that chance and really experiencing it firsthand and learning both ways. So beautifully said. And if there is a message that you would like to, Padma, I want to just ask you, like, I know you shared already that people can participate in camps or volunteer. Is there anything else that you would like audience to know on how they can support work through ICA?
Yeah, I think the first thing that Chitra already mentioned is donations for projects that are being done there through our folks here. But that will happen when you go into the YOKE website and look at all the projects that are happening. And then we want people to start thinking about, my passion is in education. Okay, let me see how I can support YOKE in that area. Or my passion is in sustainable agriculture. I have some knowledge, I have some expertise. I want to share it with YOKE so we can make it better. Because it's good to do the projects that we do, but it's always good to initiate new ones. innovate, right, to move forward so that this can grow, and this is a model, this is a model's village, so the others can adopt from here. So that is the message I would like to give to all our ICA supporters, because you not only, I mean, and knowing that YOKE is an organization that ICA has vetted completely, is we are so comfortable working with YOKE, they can make those donations very easily and also share their knowledge and then go out there. We want people to go out there and experience it, share it so it can grow. These programs can grow this way. You know, you give 10 days of your life, but the program can really grow and blossom and help so many moving forward. As you pay it forward, I think it will grow. That would be my message to all ICA supporters. Anybody who hears this, just go look at the website, see how we can contribute. Even a little bit that we all do can make a huge difference. Make an impact not only on the organization, but on ourselves too.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much, Padma. And Chitra, do you have any other ideas to add to that, or anything that you say you would like to tell our audience today before we open for questions?
Thanks, Padma. I think you just put it very, very nicely. Yeah, that's the there is a lot of mutual giving and taking. Like it's a wonderful way for youth to come here, just to experience something which is very different. It's a very different world, but their roots are here, so they must have that in mind. So when they come here, I'm sure they'll be overwhelmed by the love, affection which the people show, and will also want to nurture it further on. So I'm sure that it will be a very fulfilling experience, which will make them better citizens of the world, which all of us are, and will also make them feel like a very fulfilled kind of a person at the end of the day. So
for sure.
Yeah,
it goes back to
thanks
saying
very much. Yeah,
thank you so much. And Vasu, I know you've been at the background, but we totally appreciate all your work and your initiatives and how you're supporting the youth over there, as well as those who come and gain this experience. For the next few minutes, we are open to taking any comments, any questions to our panelists. And I will, you can unmute yourself and ask. It's a smaller group, so it's not an issue. Or you can use the raise your hand feature or drop a question on the chat, either way, and I will monitor all this. I know Abhay has also joined, and thank you for joining today, Abhay. And so we have a few of our ICA members.
So Chitra, I have a question. You introduced initially, you said that you wanted to clean up that river. So how did you clean up that river then?
Yeah, we did a lot of research as to how it can be done. There are chemical ways of doing it. There are physical ways of doing it. The chemical way will obviously have a long-term impact on the health of people here. So we wanted to avoid that. And so what we did is the physical way, which is putting in excavators like these inside the water and pulling the weed out, because this is a floating weed. It doesn't take root into the under the inside the river. So it's a floating weed. So the weed can be just taken out, and they were all put on the banks, dried, and we burnt them all. So this is how we did it. When we did it, and actually there is much less water hyacinth now, but I won't say we've been able to get them all out, because we worked only on a 3-kilometer stretch on our banks, the banks that come on our village panchayat. Yeah, but the weeds are still there upstream, so obviously they flow down the river, and they do, but we don't let them choke the river like they did before. Yeah.
Okay. So other question is, what are the age, what is the age range of the girls in the school or all the 10 villages around that school girls, which you see?
Yeah, the schools are there are 3 primary schools, there are two high schools, one for girls, one for boys, and one higher secondary school. So you have children from all age groups around here. So most of our health camps, for example, we make sure that the health camps in collaboration with the Indian Medical Association, which is one of those doctors initiatives in the non-profit area. So we work with the IMA chapter in Tirunelveli. They come and give awareness programs in the girls' school every now and then, and so we are involved with all the age groups. Like the primary school, we do the English programs. In the middle school, we help them with yoga, conversational English, music, art, craft, summer camps, and all non-formal forms of education, science, making science fun, and everything else. And we involve them in the community projects in their NSS, the National Service Scheme, and we help them do that. And then once they get into college, then we prepare them for the job environment, giving them soft skills. So, it's across the, I think the youngest we have will be class 2, 3, that is
Probably
7, 8 years too. We go, there are even 30-year-olds who come here for soft skills training, yeah, or even older. Yeah, some mothers come back to study. Oh,
ICA has undertaken a reusable cloth sanitary napkins project. And yeah, so I do not know whether ICA has talked to you about that or not, but I might give you a call and talk to you about it.
Yeah, we did. We have done a pilot here.
Oh, you did?
And
okay.
yeah, we have done a pilot here. We got one consignment, and we've done a pilot here. Okay. Yeah, I should soon share with you the
findings.
The findings. Yes.
Okay.
Thank
great.
you. I think I had seen a hand raise from Jaya. Jaya, I don't know if that was a mistake or you had something.
No, I just had a couple of quick questions. Yeah, one is firstly, congratulations to both of you. My goodness, it sounds like you've transformed a whole area. And when you say we, do you are there more people, or it's just the two of you?
We are two of us who are full-time thinking and doing whatever we are doing. But if you look at the backbone, it is really, we are supported by so many people, many financially, many morally, and a huge youth battalion, which is our volunteer group. So yeah, we have the strength of everybody around. Yeah. This is one of our photographs.
I wanted to show, I think Govindji had the question of age range. The age range is that is the age range.
Yes. So my question was going to be that you've talked about education and health and employment, and the ICA family is huge in the sense that the umbrella covers so many different nonprofits and with different skills. Is there anything that is not addressed? Is there something you wish you were doing but don't have the resources or the abilities, just in terms of manpower and expertise? Is something missing from this ideal village? And the second question I had is, when you were sharing the numbers on how many schools and students you were reaching, you started your presentation by saying if you want to make this panchayat XYZ. So what is the size of that panchayat, and how many, what percentage of that population have you covered? Because 800 students sounds like a lot, but is the panchayat consist of many more, or is this inclusive of other villages nearby? How are the numbers working?
Yeah, we go beyond the panchayat, but if, considering our panchayat, which has a population of about 4,500 in all, that's from 6 hamlets. Okay, 6 hamlets. We are one of the smallest with about 700 population, but the entire panchayat has about 4,500 people, out of which we must have reached at least about 2,000 some way or the other. Some way or the other. Yeah, even the older people we have reached some way or the other. We've taken them for eye camps, for their cataract and stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm just leaving out the newborns whom we haven't reached, and the toddlers and the very old. Yeah, very old.
So Chitra, what about the first question that Jaya had? Are there things that you would like to see, which maybe have not been met, or do you feel like those are projects you still have to think about and you don't have something to share right now, or is something you would like to highlight?
Yeah, definitely there are some projects which we are looking for funds for. One is to have a regular, kind of a coaching for all these army paramilitary aspirants, because just training for 15 days before you go for the test doesn't work most of the time. And after all, regular regimental kind of practice might help them in sustaining their health and making them ready for the test. So that is one thing which might require a little bit of funding, because we will need to hire a physical education expert to come every day, 2 hours in the morning, to guide everybody with their physical workouts. That's one thing. And then, there are some games which the children want to learn, which might help them if they get to, a stage where, they play for the state or for the, at the national level, then they get a preference in the sports quota, and they can make it to jobs, in the government sector. So that is one thing which children are very keen on, for which, again, we may need some funding. Yeah, anything else? I think these are the two things which we are right now looking at, for some support. Yeah, won't be much, but definitely we'll need some support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
So given that both of you have been doing this, and I congratulate you, this is Reshma Negam. I'm with ICA as well. I think that, you're doing such exemplary work that it's very, very humbling to even listen to this. And when we live so far away, we all hanker to do something in India and we're not able to. And talking to people like you and being able to support you through ICA is very, very is a very good thing for us, makes us feel good. But the big work is, most of the work that you guys are doing has to do with what you're doing and not us. So what are you planning to do for the next generation? Do you have people identified who will do the leadership when you want to sort of relax and move on, or what do you have in place?
We have deliberately made our executive committee with a couple of members from the local community. Okay, so whom we have identified as possible leaders for the next generation. So one of them is about in his 40s, and the other one is a young police officer. He's in his early 30s. So both of them are from two different villages in our panchayat. So I think they will take it forward.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. We don't want this dying, no.
Yeah, of course not.
This to sustain. We want this to sustain. Yeah. So
that's very good.
We've put them in the executive committee, so they are very much part of all our decision making and all the troubleshooting. Yeah, they're very much part of everything. Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks.
Leadership development, right?
Yeah.
Prasanna here, would you like to share something?
I'm thinking of a couple of ideas already in terms of the sports. When you all get a chance, will you just put your contact details in the chat, and I will reach out to a couple of friends in Chennai who are doing things around sports and connect you, and maybe something will spark there.
Namita, will the contact information also be available on our site, or
Yeah,
should we
I
just
think
look
if
for
you
here?
just looked up the website of Youth Society, you can get also the contact directly or through ICA website.
Jaya, I have your email, so I will send it to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
How do you plan your programs, Chitra and Vasu? You know, do people come, the community, does it come to you and say, you know, we want a breakdown, or we want coaching classes, or did you just think of all these needs looking at the people? And you know, it's always a thing, right? Is it something I want, or is it something the community wants? Because then it directly reflects on how they adopt it and how they run with it, right?
Yeah, I think it is just need based. It's something which comes from the community, what they want. In fact, I remember that, you know, when we started the NEET coaching, we had no clue what this examination was going to be like, whether we would have the wherewithal to be able to find the people to teach the children. But one child came to me and said, Akka, I want to do this. Can you help? Then I said, bring another 4, by which time I will be able to figure out whether we can do this or not.
Nice.
And then she brought another 4 from her class right away the next day. And then it just worked. It just worked. We networked with one of the local schools which runs the program, and they were most willing to help because our children are from, you know, remote areas. So and she's a very good friend of ours, friend of YOKE and friend of ours. So, you know, it just worked, and then we put them on those classes, and then we had experts from Bangalore, from Coimbatore, from different places taking online classes. You know, so it just worked, and 4 children appeared for the exams, and 3 cleared it. You know, so it was like basically it's need based, and most of the time I find that if the effort is genuine and if we really think about it, we find the wherewithal, we find everything happening, you know. So we've been lucky that way. Yeah,
and
very
and I think in one of our earlier conversations, you mentioned that the government or the municipality, for the most part, they are very cooperative, right? Because you probably have to get a lot of their buy-in to do like the clearing of the river or things like that. So it's probably a big part of your day working with the formalities, maybe the processes that have to happen.
Yes.
The things that I also wanted to comment is, like, you know, I do understand, and being in education for me, we were discussing this earlier, Chitra, about, you know, that working with children with all abilities, right? And having those summer camps where you have inclusion training you're providing. And to me, that's so heartwarming, because I think being in a small place, you're able to do a lot of what people are still struggling in many places of education, you know, whether it's here in the United States or all over the world. I know how hard it has been to talk about inclusion and to talk about resources and support and training teachers. So how is it that, you know, tell me a little bit about how is the mindset over there, and then what are some of the resources that you're tapping into to be able to do this work of inclusion?
Okay, but let me take Padma's question first. Something about the district administration and the government. We've been very lucky that they've been very cooperative. There is no interference from them. We've had collectors who are, backing us completely. So
nice.
That's one thing. And to tell the truth, they have been taking up the projects that we started. Like the Tamraparni cleaning is now a movement, you know, because the government has taken it up very seriously. So we are now just one peg in that entire thing, you know. So it's working very well for us. That's one thing. And Namita's question, I must say that inclusion is easier here in the rural setup than in the urban setup, because I've worked as a volunteer in the in schools in the urban areas in Chennai. And I find that here there is a complete acceptance of the child with a disability, because I think every child has some issue which makes her a little vulnerable, a little inhibited in some way or the other. She might be economically less empowered, or she might have some other issues at home, maybe a broken family, something of that kind. So, there is much more empathy for that child with a disability. It is one of those things, like I find children with mental retardation going to school up to high school without any problems. They play, they are part of everything, they're part of the classroom. And there are that acceptance is much better among their peers. Okay, I think it is only the adults, the teachers, who think we have to keep them isolated, we have to give them special traits, special thing, and let them be away. They require a little more effort and so on. And in my class of 50, what am I going to do with these two kids? It's I think the teachers who, that's why we at YOKE have tried to train the teachers to mainstream the children with very little intervention. It's very easy for a teacher to understand. She's a little creative, and she accepts that child and brings in that child into the classroom, and makes sure that she also learns along the way. And I think it is a wonderful thing that happens. So I must say that working in disability has not been that much of a challenge here. I think it is a little more accepted here and easier to convince people that it's just that they are different. That's it.
Yeah. No, I think the word empathy that you used is the key here. I think having that empathy is what brings us all together. So
Correct.
I think both of you, I think, get a lot of credit for that, because I think
I don't think so.
it's what you model, what you exhibit. I think unknowingly it transfers everywhere, right? So it's very humbling to hear that that you're facing less barriers over there. So this is great work on your behalf. So again, I want to thank everybody, and unless people have some more, we have 5 more minutes, so we'll hold on for a few more minutes. We can continue conversation because I had the opportunity to talk to you in a little bit of a practice time, so I'm very happy to everybody else shared, it's so heartwarming to hear about all these initiatives. If you would like to highlight a little bit, I'm always curious on people who held different positions, who worked in different roles, like you were a marketing person or you're a chemical engineer, and then you do this service to the community. So what do you feel like, what drives you every day? Like, what is it that that's keeping you connected in this work? Chitra, and then or let's hear from.
Yeah, why don't you say first? Why don't you talk first? Okay. Yeah.
That's good.
So actually, it's the love and affection of the children. It just pulls you down here. It is nothing else, and it's a very selfish thing that you do when you come here to work with the children or with the village people. Because the first thing is, when you come here, you know how privileged we have been. To have the best of everything all around us. A mom will, my mother would never stop me if I said I want to study, so please don't call me for anything, don't call me for errands, and I can do my studies. Whereas children here are committed to about 2 hours of their time for housework. Every child has to do certain things in the house. Every boy has to work in the fields during harvest time. These are unsaid and committed things that they have to do. And with that, if they come to study here and they get to medical school and whatever, it is just amazing. It is just amazing. And if we are one small part of this whole thing and we get so much joy. It's such a pleasure, that if we have been we played a little part in this whole thing. And
we do this because it gives a lot of, it's because of selfish interest. It gives a lot of pressure in what we do. And not as in a charity mode. No, definitely not a charity mode. We do it because it gives us tremendous pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah. Even small little things which give us a lot of joy, you know. Even if there is one child who is about 10 years old who insists on talking to us in English, and he will put 4-5 words together and make a sentence. And it's such a pleasure to watch him do that. You know, that effort that he takes, it just makes your day, makes your week. You know, it's such great fun to be with such children. And every day there's something to feel good about. You know, I don't think everybody can be so lucky as we've been.
So well put. Thank you so much, Chitra and Vasu. Keep up the good work. And it is such a pleasure to hear your anecdotes of, you know, what brings you pleasure throughout the day. And I wish more of us who have this opportunity of living a very, you know, a life that is so far away from India can have some, you know, attachment by contributing or in some small way with ICA, like Reshma was mentioning earlier. So we are very happy that we have this collaboration with YOKE, and hopefully many of our members will continue this collaboration and partnership.
And I hope that our youth, we will be able to bring many of our youth to YOKE to experience in person this awesome thing that you are doing and you have started.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, ICA. Thank you,
Thank
ICA,
you.
for being there.